All right, friends, welcome back to the podcast, the Tim Crane podcast. Yesterday I gave you a heads up. I was going to shoot something about the earthquake that happened between Cuba and Jamaica. So let's talk about that a little bit. Typically, when an earthquake happens, depending on how the earth shifts, the plates, if they buckle up or they slide underneath each other, depending on how it happens, it can cause a tsunami. Now, I'm not an analyst on this. I'm not a professional on this. I just know from what I've researched and what I've read that the last time this happened, a few years ago, when it caused a tsunami wave, it was terrible, just absolute terrible. So this one just happened, and it was a 7.7, which is huge. That's a monster. So between Cuba and Jamaica, Tuesday afternoon, the shaking could be felt as far as north of Miami. That's a big area. It's a big area. So let's see. The police department in Miami said the Brickell area, which has had seen some buildings evacuated earlier, was secure, and there were no more mandatory evacuations in that area after. That's good news. That's great. That's fantastic. Traffic and public transportation were resuming back to normal, which is fantastic, because they were talking about evacuating everybody in that area because expecting a tsunami, which I believe the numbers were somewhere between 3 to 4.5 feet tall, the waves. Which is not in comparison to the last one they had. The waves were over 30 feet tall. It was terrible, man. Oh my gosh. So the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center had issued a tsunami threat for Belize, Cuba, Honduras, Mexico, and the Cayman Islands, and Jamaica, with waves up to 3 feet, possibly 4 feet, but later said that the danger had passed by. So, you know, I'm glad everybody's okay. I'm glad this did not turn out to be a tsunami. But then again, they're saying that it's kind of early. So they're saying, no, it's not dangerous no more, but they're saying still be careful of what? If it's not a danger, be careful what? And you know why a lot of these people, they don't like being evacuated from their homes, because you got looters, you got thieves. I mean, yeah, they break into your homes, take all your... And what if the storm don't hit? They come in and just gut your house. So people don't want to leave their homes. They board up the windows, doors, whatever, and they don't want to leave because they don't want to have their personal belongings stolen. I've lived in Florida, so I know, I've been there. I've never experienced a tsunami, but hurricanes have been known all over Florida for a long time, and that's why I left. Anytime you live on a coastal area like that, you're going to have those kind of issues that pop up. So, you know, depending on how much money you have, you like taking those kind of risks, replacing all your furniture, replacing all your appliances, go for it. The quake was centered about 86 miles northwest of Montego Bay, Jamaica, and 87 miles west and southwest of Cuba. It hit at 2 p.m. and the epicenter was 6 miles beneath the surface. That's what I was just saying a minute ago. Beneath the surface of the water, the ocean, and or land, and that can determine how much danger you're going to have. Man, these guys just can't get a break, man. You know, and all these islands, remember the flooding they had, the storms they had, and all those poor people were killed. You know, I get it. I understand. This is your home. You know, this is my home in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It would take an awful lot for me to want to leave, to move, to relocate, to start new roots. Because this is where all your friends, your family, your work, everything, your whole world. And so why would you want to just pack up and leave? But it's your family. It's the life of your family, or the lives of your family, excuse me. And you know, these are consequences. Are you willing to risk the safety of your family to stay because of the roots? Because you know, history's going to repeat itself. It's going to happen again and again. More storms, more hurricanes, more earthquakes, whatever. And it's just so sad. I mean, billions of dollars. Not to mention what we got going on in Asia right now with all the coronavirus. It just seems like everything is going to crap in a handbasket. You know, in Australia, all those fires that killed all those innocent animals and people. That is just horrific, man. It's just so terrible. And it just seems like everywhere you look around the world, global events are happening. Depending whether you read the Bible or you believe in the Bible or not, it says it clearly that those are signs of the end of time, that these things are going to happen. Mother Nature is going to be brutal. Oh, man. And, you know, the Kobe Bryant, that was a tragedy. Terrible, terrible tragedy. Millions of people are grieving over that loss. Terrible loss. And here we are dealing with, you know, earthquakes and viruses. So I am going to shoot another video too. There's been a huge change in the coronavirus. There's been a lot of updates, and I will shoot a podcast about that. The intel changes every day, every hour. The numbers just change, and it's just terrible. So, well, I'm digressing. Anyway, the earthquake, they're saying that they're suspending any kind of warnings or any kind of emergency declaration because they feel that the danger has passed. And I hope they're right. I really do. That's a big earthquake, 7.7. But anyway, so this earthquake near Jamaica has been the strongest recorded by Cuban instruments and was felt across the country. So that's terrible. That's terrible. How can you? I mean, yeah, it can get worse than that. Absolutely. I mean, can you imagine being in something like that where, you know, what structure, what building is safe? Everything is tilting, shifting, collapsing. I mean, in my mind, a tent would be the only thing that would be safe. I mean, running out in the middle of the streets, the buildings collapse, bricks, you know, power lines, water lines, gas lines. Where can you be safe? Especially in these cities areas, you know, it's just, in all these thousands, if not millions of people. It's just terrible. So, by the way, guys, make sure you like us, subscribe, and ring the bell. This channel is fairly new. In order for it to grow, you guys is what breathes air into this lifeline, to this channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a channel. So I really appreciate all you guys that are actually making comments, ringing the bell, subscribing to the channel. It just makes it worth the while to do all this research, do all this reading and writing. I've got to get some better lighting in here in this studio because it's hard to read from depending on what time of day I'm doing the podcast, because if the light's coming through the studio, I can see better. But and these glasses are prescription, and it seems to help when the light comes through here. It just seems to help out. I had some people send me some messages, ask me, why are you wearing these? Are prescription, and I've got a 2-window pane over here. When the light comes in a certain direction, just and this seems to be the best area for the podcast. So once again, guys, make sure you like us, subscribe, and ring the bell. And I'm going to do another video. I believe I'm going to do it today about the coronavirus. And I've got a lot of intel, a lot of information. So anyway, my video's over with for right now. Guys, stay tuned.